Adela Micha accuses someone who used to be one of her closest collaborators of forging documents, diverting resources, and threatening to destroy her reputation if she didn't withdraw the complaints against her. So in this video, we'll tell you what happened between them and what the investigations say. Extortion can happen to anyone, and the case of the journalist Adela Micha is an example of that. The journalist reported her former collaborator, Susan N., who allegedly threatened to start a smear campaign to damage her reputation if she did not drop the legal actions taken against her. You see, they both had a close friendship and a working relationship for 27 years. During that time, Susan rose through the ranks until she became the producer of The Saga, the digital platform owned by the journalist. However, the relationship between them broke down, and the case took a legal turn on June 5th, when Susan N. was arrested in Cuernavaca, Morelos, by officers from the investigative police and the Criminal Investigation Agency. She was later transferred to Mexico City and admitted to the Santa Marta Women's Social Reintegration Center in Catitla, where a judge imposed pretrial detention, considering there was a risk of flight. The arrest warrant was issued for her probable involvement in the crime of using false documents. According to the investigation, internal audits and handwriting expert reports concluded that Adela Micha's signatures were forged to compromise her assets without her authorization. The complaint arose after the journalist noticed documents dated 2019 with a signature she claimed not to recognize. Among them were a loan agreement with a mortgage guarantee for 1 million pesos, an agreement to increase that loan by an additional 240,000 pesos, and a final promissory note for 1,240,000 pesos. Based on these investigations, detectives from the investigative police used C5 video recordings, technical tracking, and surveillance work to locate the addresses linked to the accused and carry out her arrest. Meanwhile, that is not the only case that former collaborator Adela Micha is facing. At the same time, Susana is also being investigated for the alleged crime of fraudulent administration. According to the investigations, between October 2023 and June 2024, when she was still working as the journalist's assistant, she allegedly took advantage of the powers of representation and marketing that she had. She had within the saga to implement a scheme to divert resources through abuse of trust. According to the accusation, she received money related to Adela Micha's commercial projects without having the proper authorization. The modus operandi consisted of managing and collecting resources for conducting television interviews that the journalist wasn't even aware of. These irregularities allegedly came to light when one of the people who made financial contributions contacted Adela Micha directly to ask about the progress of the project. Regarding the second investigation file, the Mexico City Prosecutor's Office reported that it has collected interviews, analyzed communications, obtained banking information, and carried out various procedures that allowed them to identify deposits and financial movements allegedly related to the reported events. In addition, according to the journalist's complaint, Susana N. allegedly tried to force her to drop the legal actions by threatening to launch a public campaign to damage her reputation, which added a new element to the conflict between them. Finally, it is important to point out that despite the preventive detention and the progress of the investigations for alleged fraud and document forgery, Susana still retains her constitutional right to the presumption of innocence. This means that the prosecutor's office will still have to prove its accusations before a judge, while the defense will be able to challenge the evidence, reports, testimonies, and documents presented against her. What do you think about this case? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and enable notifications.